journey from Abuja to Ogoja was a very hectic and crazy one. Yeah, something even happened on this trip. Guys, I lost my bag in a taxi. Imagine me on the express trying to find a taxi that carried my bag. I was scared for my life because I know these Maraba axes, the drivers there, they drive like crazy people. But as God could have it, I found my bag and I headed back to the car that was taking me to Ogoja, feeling myself like we were already on our way. Surprisingly, the driver stopped somewhere at around Abacha Barracks, yes, to see how he could get more passengers. And this wait was long. God. So, as a Christian girl that I am, I quickly brought out my rosary to preparation, start reciting it to commit the journey to God's hands because it's going to be a long trip. I don't know how I'm going to survive this.
Where's that
Last, we began the trip, and yeah, I had to help the driver carry this girl in front of me who was sleeping and snoring, but I didn't mind. But you know how the journey can be now. My waist was already in hell. We stopped somewhere to find a place where I can pee as well as the rest of the passengers. We even got to eat at Makoti, and they served me this plate of food without meat to say that it's 400 naira. Don't look at the face of this food. It was really yummy. Me, I ate it. I sure ate it. No shame, Jerry. I ate my thing because I was really like tired. Who cared? So we began the journey again. I just had to vibe to that music to keep myself busy. Yeah, finally we arrived to Ogoja, that's Igoli in particular, at about 5 p.m. That was like the first time I'm getting to Ogoja town this early. I could still see the day break, daylight. So those of you from Cross River State, if you see this video, you will quickly recognize where I'm talking about. So we passed through Igoli and I got to see really good spot, and it brought me a feeling of nostalgia. I'm like, oh God, of course I remember when I was here. We even drove past St. Benedict Catholic Church. This is where everybody worships, like the biggest Catholic parish in the whole of Ogoja, of course. So I was looking forward to worshiping here before coming back to Abuja again. You know, right, that it's only in Ogoja that you see female driving bikes and even fueling them. It's always a very funny sight. I got to wait here for like another extra 1 hour, waiting for my cousin to come and pick me. And at the end of the day, he drove that.
My brother.
What's your load?
Jesus.
What's your load,
My baby. How are you?
You can tell from the look on my brother's face that he was so delighted to see me because he didn't even know that I was coming down, because this was like a surprise trip. Nobody knew I was coming. Yeah.
You guys are now.
So they began, loading the vehicle, and then we started driving back home, and we're all chatty all through.
Oh, stickers.
You say?
Let's go look at the camera. Smile.
Where they move first get to this thing first now. These are the smile.
Finally, we arrived home, and the whole compound was looking like, oh, of course, there's going to be a wedding here tomorrow. And I was excited to see people, because it's funny how people just gather when you have something doing. And yeah, this is my little cousin. She's always shy, and this dog was kind of welcoming me. Sonia,
Baby, can I come and give me your.
My cousin is like that. She doesn't know how to express herself. Sorry about that. So she was happy to see me, but she couldn't just express her feeling towards me. Sure, I know that I'm here for work home because my wedding I come work good. So the next day we found ourselves, in slaughter. Of course, we got to the slaughter to get some beef. And then my mother was there waiting. It was a long search for her though. At last, I sighted her, gave her a hug, gave her some pegs. She really tried. And if I knew that I was going to stay in this slaughter for the next 3 hours, I sure would not have come. Guys, I was here. My legs were paining me. Like, I was regretting. But again, I'm like, okay, let me just do this. That's why I'm here. So that feeling kept me going. At this point, I was really exhausted. I just needed to go home. How can I just be standing here for 3 hours for them to get the meat ready for me to take back home.
They don't know.
Yeah, funny, yeah, this part, because this was me trying to prepare for the wedding. People have already gone, and Sonia wouldn't just let me be. She was disturbing everywhere, so I had to just place her somewhere and then serenade her with some good tunes from my beautiful voice for her to just calm down. So I was up again having my makeup prep for the wedding at about 10 p.m. when mass was almost over. But then I had to look like the sister to the groom, so I took my time. Man, I had worked a lot, and now this is me headed to the wedding venue. I had to just fill in my look because it was giving what it should give. I spent some money on this look, yeah, so it deserves some private video time. I did that, yeah. An arrival to the reception. This is one long train I've not seen in a long while. This train had different sets, from friends of the bride to friends of the groom to Asharbi to bridal train to friends committee. I mean, just all the booty was here. Alas, it was time for refreshment, and I served them cool and chilled zobolicious. During this party, I was just praying for my beautiful dress because the struggle was real. The weather was hot, and Zobo came at the right time to save the day. Everybody wanted to have a taste of zobolicious, so I was careful enough to just escape for my beautiful dress. Yeah, my cousin has always wanted to do this, so finally the day was here, and he just had to dance with this woman king, like he calls her. It was just making, I was just eyeing all through this section. I'm like, oh God, when? I'm really happy that he got a chance to do this again. Did I tell you guys that this was like the first time in my life I'm witnessing him dance? It was a funny sight to behold, though. So the only steps that he knew was just to raise up his hands like that. And while the wife on the other part, she's like, just digging it. Yeah, I mean, I was feeling like she couldn't even stand for long because she had not even eaten before this reception. She told me, Auntie Becky, I need food. And I just kept promising her that I would give her food. But seeing her on the dance floor, digging it the way she was really struggling. Yes, so I had to quickly steal the moment to make this full video of my gorgeous dress, because this dress was giving everything it should give. Sister to the groom's kind of look. And you know, Amakin's Apparel actually designed this dress in just short notice, and they gave me something of a perfect fit. I couldn't get enough of my look. You guys know that I took this look almost to bed. Like, this is me now going back home at 6:20 p.m. I was really exhausted. I just threw away my jewelry, and I had to also find time to make videos with my personal PA for the day, my cousin. Of course, he did really well. And the next day, I was already on my way back to Abuja. Thank God I arrived town safe and sound. I got into Abuja at 9 p.m. All I had on this journey was just my chunks of cake. I had loads and loads and loads of it. So, traveling from Abuja to Ogoja is always fun and stressful. But thank God I'm back in town, healthy and hearty.